Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel. My name is Gupe. I have not introduced myself in a long time. My name is Gupe. I'm a wife, a mom, and an educator based in Abuja, Nigeria. On this channel, we talk about all things education in Nigeria. We talk about teaching, we talk about parenting, and then I'm thinking about including bits of lifestyle on this channel. Let me know if you would like that. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about some of the reasons why your child is experiencing reluctance with reading. Listen, I am a character education advocate. Okay, I run an education consultancy that is ultimately concerned with the raising of confident, assertive, and self-aware children. Now, one thing I believe is that confident children are able to express themselves freely by speaking, by writing. And then another way to build confidence in children is by encouraging them to read, because you gain a wealth of knowledge from reading. Okay? So if we encourage children to read, we're ultimately setting them up to learn a lot. Okay, now if you see me pushing for different aspects of literacy, it is not far-fetched, because I just feel like it's all connected to confidence. So today I'm going to give you 10 tips that can help you foster the love of reading in your children. If this is something you're interested in finding out, then please keep on watching. Now, the very first tip that I will give you, I don't want you to feel bad, but the very first tip is that you need to start early. You really need to start early. Now, I see people make fun of women who start reading to their babies even while they're pregnant, while the baby is in their tummy. Yes, some women start to read to their babies right from when the babies are still in the bone. Okay, and this is such a good thing, because whether or not the baby can hear you read, you already get yourself into that whole practice of reading to your little one even before the baby arrives. And then the baby comes, and then you start reading to the baby right from when it is very young. Some people don't believe that these things help, but they do, because as long as they can see you, as long as they can hear you, they're already taking things in. So if you start early, it really helps. Children whose parents start reading to them right from when they are babies mostly end up becoming readers themselves. Number 2, this one, most people don't like to hear it, but I'm telling you, it's so true. You need to model reading yourself. You need to model being a reader yourself. So as a parent, as a teacher, you need to show your children just how exciting it is to read. Your children need to see you curl up with a book reading. You can even share some parts of the book with your children. You can tell them parts from your book, especially if there are any parts that they can relate to. You can share stories of what you're reading with them, or lessons of what you're reading with them. Don't think that you would be a parent or a teacher who has never been found reading a book, and then you expect your children to be bookworms. Like, how? It doesn't work that way. 3, you need to create a reading-friendly environment. So around your house, around your classroom, because I'm talking to both teachers and parents, around the home, you should have like little libraries, set them up beautifully, where there are books that are easily accessible to the children. Let the children be surrounded with books right from when they are babies. You can't expect to groom the reader, and then before they see any book with their eyes, it takes a long time. Like, it doesn't work. So you need to create little libraries. Even in the classroom, you can create like little corners where children can read, maybe to pass time. If something is not, a general activity isn't going on, they can just sit down there and read. Children who come to school early can just grab a book, sit down in a nice cozy place and read. And even at home as well, you can create corners that have all these cuddly little items where children can just curl up and read as well. Number 4, you need to expose children to different types of books, different genres of books. You need to start them early, expose them to all these different types of books so that they broaden their interest right at an early age. Don't limit them to a certain type of books only. So as children are growing up, you need to expose them to both fiction, non-fiction books. Even among the fiction books, you need to also expose them to different genres of fiction: fantasy, realistic fiction, historical fiction, what have you, just the different types of fiction there are. You need to introduce them to history books, introduce them to science books, encyclopedia, everything, just everything. So don't streamline their reading to only a particular type of books, especially as they are growing up, so that when they get exposed to all these things, they can decide which type of books they like. Number 5, by the time children now start trying to choose books for themselves, you need to give them the opportunity to decide what they want to read from a library. You can provide guidance, but ultimately it is counterproductive to force children to read things that they have zero interest in. The goal is to get children to actually do some reading. There are children who do not like fiction books. I have a son who does not find fiction books interesting at all. However, non-fiction is his thing. Any book that provides, one form of information or the other, give it to him, he'll be all caught up in it. But when it comes to narratives, telling one story or the other, he's not interested. I'm not going to force a child like that to read fiction all the time. Once in a while, out of necessity, it might be important to have him read those books. But then when it comes to liberal free reading, you need to let children make their choices. Another thing that helps is providing children with read aloud opportunities. You need to let children have the opportunity to engage in read aloud sessions. So whether it's in the classroom or even at home, you need to give children the opportunity to read aloud sometimes, and then also listen to others read. That's another interesting way to incorporate reading in your classroom structure. Okay, some children really enjoy read alouds, but some are shy and would rather avoid reading aloud. But you need to let children see the importance of reading aloud, because it helps with vocabulary. It helps children to learn how to be intentional about pronouncing words the right way. They get the opportunity to practice pitch in reading, fluency, and things like that. And parents, on your part as well, at home, you need to also let the children have the opportunity to read aloud. They can read aloud, to themselves or even to you. Ideally, teachers are supposed to send children home with books to read with the parents. There's a reason why this is important, because it helps to build and sustain a culture of reading. It also helps with fluency. You as a parent will be able to even notice some reading gaps in your children when you hear them read. There are children who grow up not knowing how to read with punctuation. They just read. It's almost like they don't see the punctuation. They don't stop to observe punctuation. It is read aloud situations that will help with this. It also helps with pacing. It helps with effect. So children, there are some children who read and you can hear the effect in their voice. They're able to dramatize they are reading. They are able to get into character when they are reading. These are all reading skills that are so important for every child to have. But if we ignore read aloud opportunities, then children will miss out on developing this skill. Okay? Number 7, we need to make reading a routine. So in the home, we need to decide, when in the day do we read? Do we read just before bed? Do we read immediately after school? Or when exactly do we read? At the weekends, when is our reading time? And let that reading time be for everybody, including mom and dad, and then everybody at home. That way, there is no question about it. When it is time to read, everybody knows that it is time to read. And let everybody read something that they enjoy. If possible, have conversations about the different things that you're reading. This will also go a long way to help foster the love of reading in reluctant readers. Number 8, when you're going book shopping, carry the children along. Let them take part in the selection of books. Just give them the experience of entering a big bookstore that has books everywhere, where they just get lost in, they can't even make a choice. They can't even make decisions about what books to read. Give them that experience of seeing so many books in one place as many times as possible. So when you're going book shopping, don't go alone. Take the children along with you. It helps. Take them to libraries, different libraries. If you travel, maybe you go on a vacation or something, as part of your itinerary, make it a point of duty to take the children to a library. Let the children recognize that books are important. So just because you're on a vacation does not mean you cannot stop to get some books. If you travel and you're shopping, make sure you include books shopping as well. Everywhere you go, make sure you buy books. And make sure you take the children with you. Let them just get used to the whole process of going into the library, seeing a whole lot of books, experiencing the world of books. It will help beyond your expectation. Number 9, it's important to help children connect books to real life. And I think that this point also relates to like reading and then just discussing. When children read to you during read alouds, things like that, even in class or at home with teachers and parents, it applies. Okay? See how you can help them make links between characters in their books, settings in their books, and then real life settings as well. So for example, something can be happening to a character in the book, and then if that is something that the children can relate to, draw it out and help them to have a conversation around it. Talk about the setting. Children shouldn't just read and let it go like that. Help them to actually feel the essence of different parts of a story structure. Okay? Like, let them be able to make links. Let them be able to connect with characters' feelings, with settings, with just different events in the books. And this happens ultimately through discussions and then proper questioning, open-ended questions. So open-ended questioning is not only for teachers, it should be for parents as well. So it's not only who was the boy, what was the name of the boy in the book. No, you need to ask questions. Why do you think that boy was behaving like that? If you were in that boy's shoes, how would you have done it? Questions that will lead the children to think at home, right? This is the 10th point. You can have something called family reading time. Now, this is different from the one I said before where I was talking about routines. This is different. This is where there's a common text. There's one text, and then we're reading it as a family. So we have a place where we stop every day or maybe every Friday, and then the next time we schedule to continue, we'll continue from where we stopped the last time. And everyone is carried along in the book. We're all enjoying the book. This is usually done in classrooms, but it can be done at home as well. These are the different ways that we can help children foster the love of reading. Even reluctant readers can benefit from some of these points that I've shared. I hope that this has helped. If you have any more points that you would like to add, please share in the comments so that every other person can learn. Thank you so much for sticking with me till the end of today's video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos when I post them, and share this video to all and sundry. I'll see you again next time with another one. Bye-bye.